What's up, guys? It's LA and J with your mom, Sin. And today, we're gonna cover we're gonna cover bullying. So, with that said, I have a good question that I've seen surface the internet go around a few times, or at least comments-wise. I've seen in comment sections. The question is, or the statement is, basically what I saw was that someone had said that we need bullies. When bullying was more often, apparently the world was better.
What?
Yeah. And there was some elaboration on it, and it made a little bit of sense. It was more in the fact of, like, how everybody calls us soft and stuff like that, and we're little snowflakes. But it was in that sense of where they're saying that. But I guess my question is, you know how there's always a spectrum of good and bad? Like, do you feel that's true? Or...
No, bullying has always been bad. I feel like there's a difference between bullying and
I feel like if you say
joking around to where you're joking, like cracking jokes on each other, and you get a hearty, and you get a comeback with the joke. But bullying, I don't know, people have killed themselves over bullying, so I don't think that comment or whoever said that must have been bullied to where...
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I feel like people who say stuff like that, like, they never really experienced it.
Yeah, because people have killed themselves. If you've been bullied at school, people don't want to go to school because they're not being protected. And it's stuff that still goes on until today. Like, schools don't really do anything about the bullying.
I mean, I was also going to say, not even just school-wise. Like, you know, there's cyber bullies now, and, like, there's different forms of bullying as well that people don't recognize just because it's not called bullying. But, like, I'm going to throw it out there, like how you said in our second episode, how you kind of went off and was sharing your feelings about racism. Like, that's a form of bullying. And, like...
Yes.
All of the things like that, like when I would get the jokes about being, or I'm sure my dad back in the day, he told me how he used to be called chink and stuff like that. And like, I get it, like me and my dad, like I guess we're those type of people who are like, haha, whatever. But like in reality, like, sometimes it's annoying, you know? And I feel like people don't recognize, like, that is also a type of bullying, too. And it's not being soft. It's just, like, I don't walk around and look at you and be like, you're mayo mustard looking, like, you know? But it's just, yeah. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm on a tangent.
I don't know. What just happened? But, yeah,
basically just trying to say the different forms of bullying, even though it's not right in our faces that it's bullying.
Cyberbullying has always been around. There's even a movie about it. Like there's several movies. Yeah, back when I was growing up.
So you're saying in the 60s? Sorry.
People would like always. Because as the internet started growing, people would, like, expose people for sending nudes. And then I've read stories where people have killed themselves because people have leaked their nudes.
See, that's also in the question of how you asked who takes rejection better. Or, like, who handles whatever better, a man or a woman, that's where I was saying, when have you ever seen a woman really leak nudes? I know it just kind of changed the topic, but like that popped in my head.
Girls haven't leaked.
I mean, I know it's happened, but like in that sense of that, like I remember being in high school, and I know if some of y'all be listening to this, I went to high school with you, probably be like, oh, that was me. But I remember a bunch of dudes, they had literal group chats of where they would send girls nudes around. And it would even be like their own girlfriends. And it's like...
Yeah, but...
I don't know, that's so slimy to me.
When Instagram started getting popular, people would expose them on Instagram.
Well, yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying is like... I don't know, because I can't... I guess I can't really say that because I also know of some women I've seen that were like, oh, but you want to act like that? And then they somehow got a hold of another girl's nudes and linked it too. But...
I ain't never seen nobody nudes because she...
Yeah.
Like, especially in high school?
Oh, for real.
People... Next thing you know, catch myself on the internet. That's a bad break. Not me. But now the bullying is getting a lot worse because... the internet is growing and a lot of people have Twitter fingers.
Y'all listen to that thing so much.
So, you got TikTok, you got Instagram. The worst bullying, I think, is the fans. Like, sports fans are the worst bulliers. They just like to, like, create memes of the athletes. Like, you don't know what these athletes are going through for you to be doing that.
I feel like it's fans, period.
It's fans, but it's like they take it to a whole nother level. It's like you don't know what these people are going through. Yeah, they make they can make a couple $1 million, but you know you don't know what these people are going through, and you know they don't perform or whatever for 1 or 2 games, and you guys got them on memes, calling them names, but y'all can't do half the stuff they doing, or else you guys wouldn't be at that elite level that they're at. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I will never get that, how people, like, will bash or, like, shame even, like, actors or movie stars or music artists and stuff for, like, certain things. And it's like, you know good and dang well, I really want to say the other word. Anyway, but you know good dang well that you couldn't do half of the things that they're doing and dealing with. And, like, that's why, like, I mean, it's... as TikTok would be showing, it's a really shady business down there in Hollywood, but at the same time, like, I give mad respect.
Like, athletes, I think, get the most hate. I don't know why.
Why are you focusing on that?
That's not athlete related to athletes, then it makes sense for you to speak on, because the point of this show is bringing knowledge of things that we've seen and experienced. That's why when you speak, I don't be like, why you da-da-da-da about a certain subject, because I don't know what is it that you are seeing or experiencing. From my experience and what the things I've seen is that athletes are the ones that's been getting the most hate, or people are like trying to destroy, not knowing what they go through every day, or are not aware of the game, because the way you see them talk, you could see that they don't know what they're talking about, or they can't even do half the things these dudes are doing, these dudes and women are doing. And it upsets me, especially the fact that the lady athletes get the most scrutiny when half of them is like better than most of y'all. You feel me? And I'm not I'm the type of person that can sit here and be like, these ladies that practice every day, WNBA, college ball, whatever it is, they are better than me because they take it seriously. And I'm pretty sure they're better than half of y'all that be sitting here in the comments like going crazy about them. But if y'all go play them one-on-one, y'all not going to be able to do half the things they're doing. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
I'm looking for her name.
Who? So, like, bullying is just, it's in all shapes and form, and a lot of people, that's how they eat, and y'all just sit here, y'all make memes about them, and y'all go crazy in the comments, but, like, how do you sleep better at night when y'all do that? You know what I mean?
I think I found her correct name. She was an Olympic runner. Her name, forgive me if I'm saying it wrong, was Alicia Montano. Anyway, she ran I can't recall, I'm trying to see how long it was, but she won a bronze medal for completing a marathon at 5 months pregnant. Do I need to say more? Like, I'm just saying because it kind of sucks because there's not because I'm touching more on the women's sport part. Like, there's not as many bigger things out there for women because of the fact that our expectation is that we're going to end up popping out a kid one day and then that's the rest of our career. And, like, I feel that's really unfair sometimes. And she was a great example of how we can exceed that, you know? And, like, so you gonna tell me that just anybody can go out there and run like 5 months pregnant, like more piggybacking on what you were speaking about. And like, no, not anybody can just go do that. And as to your thing on saying, while you're speaking on multiple things, that's why I asked, why are you just focusing on athletes? Because we are supposed to be speaking on everything, which is why I kept interjecting and saying actresses as well. Because I don't know if it's just because my feed is more diverse, but from like what I see, like it's the case with everything, whether you're a musician, an artist, you're literally just making stuff for small business wise, whether you're an actor or a book writer, like there's always some kind of critic in the comments, and it's like, for what?
I'm not gonna lie, I can critique sometimes because we have looked at something and we're like, it's really not that good, but we're not like the people that are like fans and they're going and bashing these people on social media and creating memes. We don't do that. We keep it to ourselves. It's just like we've seen movies that are not that well. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I did do that for Crossover.
For what?
The TV show Crossover.
I've never seen that.
I put it on TikTok. I said the trailer was better than the movie.
Oh.
Because the trailer was better than the movie, but I'm not critiquing the actors. I just said the trailer was better than the movie.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, we're all entitled to our opinions. Like, you're obviously allowed to have your opinion. Like, you can honestly be like, you know, like, hey, like, this wasn't... I'm not saying that we all have to be like, you know, hippies, sunshine, flowers, and butterflies, and be like, oh, like, the movie was terrible, but, like, you guys did a great job. Like, that's not that exactly what we have to do, but...
I've seen, like, on the bullying aspect, I've seen some stuff on social media.
Ooh,
and it
that's
just...
a good example.
It doesn't make sense. I just don't understand it. Like, you know, why? If y'all could do it better, why don't y'all do it better? You know what I'm saying? Like, these people put time, effort, and they're probably better than y'all. Y'all just sit behind a computer screen with y'all Twitter fingers, and y'all think y'all big reach.
Let me tell y'all about this one incident that I remember witnessing that was just like terrible in my mind. And So I don't know if any of our viewers ever like watch any Minecraft streams or anything like that and whatnot. But I used to with my cousin. We used to watch Dream. I don't know if anybody knows a Dream, but he's like my age, maybe a year older or so, and he is like made himself like this multi-million-dollar like person, and like his all of his friend group and stuff like that off of literally just gaming and streaming, and then creating different sites and like merch and stuff like that, and like it's all wholesome content. And he allowed one of his, not allowed, but like he had one of his like newer friends come on, and it was their first time streaming ever. And and it was their first time streaming ever, and it was a really good stream, and like the guy, like it was enjoyable to like watch them play and stuff like that. But then afterwards, because my cousin was more up to date and like following all of their things, I kind of just sat and watched the stuff with them and then would play some stuff. But they kept up on what was happening, and on Twitter, which is where most of like the things were going on, Dreams fans and like other people just absolutely trolled this kid to the point where he was like, I'm never streaming again. And like that kind of hurt my heart, because I'm like, this person seemed like that was something they really enjoyed, and like people in the comments just like made so much fun of him, and like were critiquing so many different things, knowing like they don't sit there and go on and do these things that they do and stuff like that, to the point where like this guy's like, I'm not showing my face ever again, like you know. And what sucked more about it is like Dream, like I said, he created like this whole franchise of himself and helps like friends out. Like that guy, I don't know how he's doing now, but like that guy could have made something of himself as well if he did keep streaming.
Yeah.
And like that's what sucks, is like you guys really take people's dreams away.
And a lot of people don't understand, streaming is not easy.
No.
Podcasting is not easy. Like none of this thing that these people are making money is easy. Like
Yeah.
we just started doing podcasting and we see it's not easy.
Yeah.
Like we do it differently than most, to where people talk about what's trending to get views, but we talk about what we're seeing to share our opinion and elaborate on a different viewpoint. And you know, like I always wanted to get into gaming myself, like to where I'm streaming it, but it's not easy. Like your content needs to be fire. You gotta know what's the next move. It's basically like having a clothing line. It's
You gotta be a few steps ahead.
Yeah. You have to really let your imagination let loose. Because if you block it just a little bit, it's a whole different ballgame.
That's what I find so beautiful about like content creating, and like actually anything in general. I just find beauty in. I feel like the being able to sit there and create a whole clothing line, and like have the idea and the mindset to put to it, or being able to stream and stuff like that, or being able to act and change and like fool people like for a movie and stuff. Like it's just all very intriguing to me, and like it just goes back to where, you know, who has any right to critique others' art when they can't do it themselves?
I mean, you could give feedback.
Well, yeah, of course.
I think feedback goes.
Feedback is good.
Yeah. Feedback goes a long way, but the whole thinking you could downgrade somebody's efforts because you just didn't like it.
Yeah.
When you yourself don't have the courage to go do it is very atrocious to me. If that's the correct way I'm wording it. But it's just like,
very fancy.
yeah, it's just like I don't understand. I really don't, and I've seen people lose, like you said, love for their stuff. Like it's just it's hard.
You want me to be honest?
Hmm.
A partial reason why I stopped softball is because I was still bigger and I just lost hope. Like, how am I going to go to college? And my senior year, there was a lot of the questions and slander towards me on, even though I kept my positions for like so long, it was always a question on, oh, just because a bigger person, is she going to be able to get this?
From
And
like a bullying aspect.
in a way, I don't think when it was being spoken about, it was that thought, but like knowing about it, it's like, is that something you would have said to my face?
Yeah.
You know? But I had been big for all those years, and now it's in question.
Yeah.
You know? And so, because I was deciding not to go to college for it, and I don't know, that was kind of like hurtful in a way and was in my mind, like, I'm bigger, so our college is even gonna look at me. I mean, I got offers, but like, are they gonna take me seriously? You know? And like, those things get in your head, whether like other people think it does or it doesn't, but it does. And it kind of sucked because in a way I was starting to lose my passion for it as well, because it was more of a job than anything else.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But that's one thing that I never really shared before that kind of got in my head back then. But
Bullying sucks. Like I've been bullied, so I know exactly how the shoe feels, and you know I have yet to witness this in real life. They always show it in the movies, where some kids will see somebody getting bullied and they do something. Like it's like 5% of the movies. But in real life, usually people laugh or they act like they don't know what's going on and they ignore the signs.
I hate that.
Like I've had teachers see, that's probably why I don't really like the school I graduated from. Because I've seen, because the teachers, the dean, principal, they saw what me getting bullied and they ignored all signs and they just let it keep happening. And the day I was forced by teacher to go to the principal's office for that bully because he poked my eye to where I had a blood socket.
Oh, blood. It was like a blood vessel pop.
Yeah, where my blood vessel popped, and
Ooh.
and then I think I retaliated after he did that in a way. Just because, and they believe what he was saying more than what I said, and we both got in trouble, and that never made sense to me because the person was picking on me the whole time, and then the moment I took matters into my hands, it wasn't really heard. So,
See?
I feel like that bully lucky too, because my parents didn't allow me to fight in school, so people always thought I was soft, but in reality, it's my mom told me she just didn't want to deal with that stuff. So they like you because
I think generally I got lucky. So I have to admit this because I think about it and it weighs on my mind heavily. So when I was in elementary school, I would definitely have called myself a bully but it wasn't but it wasn't knowingly until I got older and was like, wow, like I was a little shit. And so when I was in elementary school, I was definitely the kid that I would like hit your arm and be like, ha ha, like blah blah blah, somehow, or like I was always hitting on people, and I have no clue why, but yeah, I was really a rough kid, but that was also after the period of time in elementary school when I was bullied. So it's like, I guess like I was bullied, so I became the bully, but like I was like a free-willed bully that was like just wild, I guess. IDK. In my mind, I'm like, wow, I really was one back then. Anyway, to elaborate, on what you're saying, in a way, I don't know if I was lucky or not, or if I just kept to myself as I got older, or if people just didn't want to mess with me. IDK, because there's definitely people I would have rocked their stuff for, but I was not raised as you were, in a way, and I guarantee if somebody did lay their hands on me, I might have done something. But that's in the sense of my dad and whatnot was definitely off, because, you know, my dad, I've told you stories, he definitely went and got into some fights in high school. So the rule was, anybody lays hands on you, you go ham.
Yeah,
because
I was more scared of my parents than the bullies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I basically got given the green light. Just nobody allowed that to happen.
I ain't had no green light. My parents always told me, so if we answer you, man, go tell principal office and snitch.
See, but it was so hard.
They were trying to give me the snitch, and then I was like, I ain't supposed to be a snitch. Because I remember in elementary, I was a snitch. I got teased for being a snitch.
Yeah.
And the private because... And I when I was younger, I was sensitive. So because I got teased, I'm like, you know, I'm tossing all that sensitive stuff out, and I'm not snitching. I don't care what happens. I ain't telling nothing. You know. And then I was getting bullied in elementary. I remember I went to go get my backpack. This bully kept messing with me. I still remember his name, but I ain't gonna say their names. I remember both their names.
Whoever you are.
Their names. But anyways.
I hope karma gets you.
No, I don't hope it. It's all good. But anyways, I was grabbing my bag or something out of my bag, and he was, cause you know, bullies like when people are paying them attention, then they go harder. So he was trying to get the classmates' attention. So he tried to start something. At that point, I didn't care. I took him, I dropped him, and then he tried to get me. I was wrestling. He couldn't do nothing.
Oh, karma.
But we both got referral, and usually when they get caught, the students, they always lie for the people that bullies me. So that's the shit that's the stuff I always hated, was when y'all would lie for them. Especially after they got caught without you having a snitch. It's like, bruh, y'all could have, you know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate. I do think when it comes to a certain point where certain kids get bullied to where they can't take it anymore, they handle it in a negative way to where, for instance, the stuff that's going on where, you know, the school stuff.
Yeah, the school shooting.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to say that, but it's like part of that too.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's a topic that could be talked about as well, since we're talking about bullying.
Because that too has to do with bullying. Because you in certain scenarios, you've seen movies or shows touch up on that because kids are being bullied to where they're bringing a gun because they're not really educated on the gun. So they're just bringing it to the school to answer to the bully, and then it ends up with more lives being lost. To where if
you just be a decent human,
if we started taking bullying more seriously and we started paying more attention to the kids crying out for help, I think, and then as well, if we have kids and there's guns in the house and you're educating your kids about guns and all that, I feel like these are eliminating factors for school shootings to where these things wouldn't happen.
What is your opinion on that?
What?
I mean, we don't have to
school shooting?
get well.
or
Yeah, well, yeah, but my question that went through my brain then was the whole gun stuff and having kids in the house, because I, like, I grew up with many around me, and but I was heavily educated about it from the age 4 and up. So
yeah,
that's part of it where it's like, if you properly educate, I feel like it's fine. But do you have some people where it's like, I saw literally a video last year where this little girl and like either a brother or friend or something were videoing themselves and like playing around, and then she shot the brother in the head.
yeah, like,
And then she shot herself. And like, it's things like that where I'm like,
it's
what?
they're not educated on it.
Yeah.
I was around guns since I was in Haiti because my uncle is a police officer, and I always knew guns were not something to play with, and it's not because they educated me on it, but it was like, in a sense, you do not touch that. My parents always raised me, if it's not yours, do not touch it.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it's not yours, do not touch it. So it's like, I never...
Unless it's a dog, I'm definitely going to come up and pet if you're mad at me.
So it's like, we know what we are taught. So it's like, when we are educated on something and we resolve the issue that could avoid many problems, these things don't happen. But when it's not addressed, things like that happen, then it's like, oh, we should have stopped this, we should have seen that. Well, these things are preventable to where if we have teachers who really love doing their job, they're going to see when the kids are crying for help, and they're going to take care, they're going to eliminate that. Because I think one thing we lack of is compassionate and caring teachers, because a lot of kids, when they go to after school programs, summer school programs or summer programs, or just coming to school, that time they're at school, a lot of times is their safe haven, because they have problems going on at home, or their home life is not as well. So it's like, you gotta notice when these kids now are coming into where they think they should be feeling safe, and they're being bullied, and now they're not safe anywhere. So now they feel like they gotta take matters to their own hands.
Yeah, I was gonna touch up on that as well. It's like, you don't know what people are going through at home either. So even in like the shows you're talking about, like, it shows them getting bullied, but in some of the shows, it shows they have stuff going on at home too. So it just adds. And like, if I'm being honest with that, was something that was happening to me every single day. At some point, I'd blow up too. I don't know if I'd go and like necessarily shoot up a school, but at some point I'd blow, and be like, F everybody.
People blow in different ways. Like, you have those who blow and they kill themselves, or they starve themselves. Or it's just, there's different ways. It's just, and what are we really doing about it to change that? What I mean?
And I don't know. I feel like with the whole, I know we talked about doing like virtual homeschool and stuff like that, but like, I feel like we need that human interaction. Like, I don't know if I've just been lucky. I feel like I have been pretty lucky throughout this life for the most part. I can acknowledge I'm more privileged than others, but I didn't have too many teachers that I hated, but at least in my head, I can't think of anybody that I would absolutely be like, absolutely screw you, but, I can't think of anybody, but,
I ain't gonna say y'all names too, because I know y'all see me getting bullied, y'all ain't say nothing. Ooh, wow.
But at the sense, like, at least with the teachers I had, I feel like we let teachers be teachers a little bit too loosely. I know they have to go through schooling, and like, I know that schooling is not easy at all, but at the same time, It's like because I have to give props, and why I say we need human interaction with teacher wise and stuff like that and learning. Like I hope like it doesn't just go to like straight like virtual learning and stuff and everything online, because teachers, even though it's not in their job title, at least the ones I had, they're not just a teacher. They're also a therapist. They're supposed to be, at least the envisionment I feel of what they're supposed to be, is somebody you can go to and feel safe about. And I had about like 4 of them. Like I maybe could have done that with or so, but you know, I feel like that's what it's supposed to be. Like, you know, like this is your learning environment. This is a safe place, you know? And that's what sucks about it, I suppose, is that, like how you're saying, nowadays it's like with any job, it's like they just hire anybody nowadays, you know? And like I've been seeing all the things surfacing through Facebook, even with like substitutes and stuff like that. Like there was this one lady that like choked out a kid or something. Forgive me if I'm not saying it correctly, but I saw that go around and I was like, what is happening, you know? Like
my kids being homeschooled, I don't care.
Yeah, I feel like it's not bad to an extent, like as long as like you're doing the interactions and they're having like a social life as well, you know? But
this one crazy.
Yeah.
And you could tell the teachers that really care and the ones that are just there to grab a check. Like, I could count on my hands how many genuine teachers that I had that saw my potential and made sure that my potential was executed. And it meant parent-teacher conference if you're slacking and you're not getting the grades they know you're capable of getting, or being on you about passing or taking certain things serious. Like I like, from all the teachers I had, there's only quite a few that made an impactful that made a great impact on my life, to where I was like, man, these people, they truly believe in me. And when I had that, it was the first time I didn't feel like an outsider or like I wasn't good enough.
And that's how it's supposed to be. And I feel like what people forget nowadays is like some of these jobs, they require, like they really do generally require you to care. Yeah. Like being a teacher, being a nurse, being a tech, like anything with like kids and stuff. Like I feel like you can't do your job successfully or correctly. I mean, I'm sure you can, because yeah, of course there's the technical trainings and stuff like that, but like you can't make an impact if you don't care, you know? Like why, like this is the whole reason why I never went into human medicine. It's like I'm like this, I always tell people this sounds harsh as heck, but like I did not become a human nurse and I work with animals for the fact that I don't care enough to sit there and take care. Animals more. I do, but why? But like, I'm just being honest. Like, I don't care enough. I'm putting it out there. Like, I really don't care enough to sit there in a hospital, like a human hospital, and like take care of humans, because in my mind, an animal shows much more gratefulness and appreciation than humans do usually. And I'm not saying that as like, yeah, I don't know. You take that and run with it, but like I generally, like I'm able to be honest about that. Like I don't have that much care or compassion necessarily for humans as much as I do animals. So no, I'm not going to pick to be a nurse and do something that I'm like dreading to do every day or stuff like that, or something that I'm not necessarily super passionate about. And then that affects my work as well. Whereas like I'm doing very well where I'm at because it's something I am passionate about and like I absolutely love what I do, you know? But yeah, like, does that make sense?
Yes.
It did make sense, didn't it? Somebody will think about it. Man.
Well, my back hurting.
That's it. That's it.
My back hurting. I got back problems, y'all. I feel like I'm like 85. But my back hurting. I think we finna call it. It's getting late as well. So that's it for me. I'm signing out. LA. It's been real.
Subscribe, like, share,
Listen.
follow, listen. All the above.
On your mom's side, you heard me?
Peace.
Deuces.